All right, it looks like we are streaming and recording, and I have 10 o'clock on my clock. So this is Chair French convening the regular business meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission for Tuesday, October 1st, joined by my colleagues Commissioner Keene and Commissioner Keither. On today's agenda, we have a consent agenda consisting of 12 items, and we have 3 noticed items. We will begin with our consent agenda. Commissioners, you've had the opportunity to review all the items on that consent agenda. Let me ask at this time whether you have any questions, beginning with Commissioner Keither
Good morning. No, I don't. Thank you.
and Commissioner Keene.
None for me either, thank you. I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The consent agenda is approved. We now move to our noticed items. Our first noticed item is in docket number 23 GIMT 392 GIT, and this is a proposed order on the treatment of ACAM FUSF FUS support in an individual company KUSF determination, and our presenter for this item is Mr. Aaron Bailey. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, commissioners. Yes, this matter is regarding a request back in October of 2022 for the RLEX they requested a general investigation to determine that treatment of the ACAM Federal Service Fund support, or FUSF, and then also how that relates in regard to the receipt of Kansas Universal Service Fund support, or the KUSF. That investigation was opened last spring. Staff suggested that all the telecom companies that pay into the KUSF funds provide input, and they did. And then in August of this year, staff filed its report and recommendation. They did note that there was a related docket for Tota Communications, which had filed a determination request for the KUSF funds, and that docket number was 24-343. And basically, that matter did end up in a settlement agreement that the commission approved just recently.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tota docket basically kind of talked about, and so did the staff's R&R, about that the support is guided by statute in KSA 66208, or I'm sorry, 2008, and KSA 662005, and basically just as outlined in those statutes, that the support, the KUSF support, is based on the company's costs, revenue, and those factors. Staff did note in this R&R that the 23-3403 docket, that Tota's expert did recommend what's called a safe harbor approach, but ultimately noted that a flexible approach has worked well in other states. And staff then kind of looked at those at the different RLEX input, and recommended not applying a safe harbor approach, and just that each case should be determined on a case-by-case basis, which was done in the Tota docket for on 23-343. And so basically, given the company's individual circumstances, that determination would be made on an individual basis. So we do recommend, and speaking with staff too, that that flexibility makes the most sense. And so we do recommend approval of this order, and I would stand for any questions.
Thank you, Aaron. Are there any questions on this item? I will begin with Commissioner Keither
No questions.
and Commissioner Keene.
No questions. I move approval of the order.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. We now move to our second noticed item. This is in docket number 24 GIMT 459 GIT, and this is a proposed order setting depreciation rates in that docket. And our presenter again is Mr. Aaron Bailey. Go ahead, Aaron.
All right, thank you. So yes, as you noted, this is a general investigation for that was requested to look into the depreciation rates used by the RLEX, just to broadly look at the changes in technology through the years. I think the last time this was set was about more than 20 years ago. So the RLEX did provide comments on basically what they were looking for as far as modification of that depreciation schedule. And as outlined in the proposed order, they did have kind of three general points. They wanted to add fiber optic cable for underground, buried, and aerial, added depreciation rates for fixed wireless equipment and the wireless towers, and just to remove some obsolete equipment like pay phones and that kind of thing. And they did make various recommendations for the depreciation ranges for each of those items, including the new ones that they were proposing. So staff filed its report and recommendation and did basically state that the suggested rate changes were reasonable, as was the addition for the wireless equipment and the towers. They did depart a bit on the RLEX recommendation for the ranges for the fixed wireless towers, which is outlined in the order there. And staff worked on basically adding those new categories. And basically the attachment A, which is attached to the proposed order, would be the new depreciation rate schedule. So given all of that, we do recommend approval of the new schedule. Again, there was just a slight depart that staff had from the RLEX recommendation, but everything was pretty much in line with what staff had recommended.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Any questions on this item, beginning with Commissioner Keither
No questions.
and Commissioner Keen?
Since I'd move approval of the order.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, thank you.
All right, we now move to the last of our three noticed items. This is in docket number 25, CONS 3120 CPEN, and this is a proposed penalty order for RL Investment LLC. And our presenter for this item is Mr. Tristan Kimbrell. Good morning, Tristan.
Good morning. Thank you. Before you is a penalty order for RL Investment, which conducted unauthorized injection at 3 subject wells, did not timely notify the appropriate district office of a spill, and also failed to timely clean up the spill. This order assesses a $17,250 penalty, authorizes commission staff to seal the subject wells to prevent unauthorized injection, and states that if the spill has not been fully remediated, then staff is directed to remediate the spill and assess the cost to the operator. With that, I would recommend approval of the order, and I'm available for any questions.
Thanks, Tristan. Are there any questions on this item, beginning again with Commissioner Keither
No questions.
and Commissioner Keen?
No questions from me either. I'd move approval of the order.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Tristan. With that, we have come to the conclusion of all the items noticed for our consideration on today's business meeting agenda. If there's nothing further to come before us this morning, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Take care.
Take
Aye.
care.